Hi everyone. So this is the first lesson in which we will be learning how to get started with the Procreate, what all tools we have and how this thing work. Let me introduce you guys with the software. The software which we are using here is a Procreate version and the version which I'm using is 5.2.5. So when you open your Procreate, so basically the overall screen look like this. And if you want to get started, so you have to focus on few things one by one. So first of all, the first thing which is available here, this is like a gallery. So the screen here which is visible, this is like a gallery. Okay, so it shows all the work which you have done, and when you open download for the first time, it will not be like this. There will be 4 or 5 images like these sample images will be there. Okay, the top side, the right hand side here, and this is the left hand side. Okay, so basically on the right hand side we have four things. Okay, the first thing is a select. It is just to select the things, like you can select your images like this one by one. So this is the work of a select. Then we have import. Import is to import any file which is already there, like you have Procreate file saved. So you can use the import button. Okay. And then we have the photo button. Basically, what is a photo button? Photo button is there if you want to import any image from your iPad. So click on the photo button here. Then you can see your gallery here. So from your gallery, you can choose any image you want to open. So like let's take example, I want to open this illustration. So I will click on the image. That image will be open in a Procreate. So this is how we can open any image in the Procreate. Once again, there is a gallery button. You go back, you're coming here. Then after the important photo, there is a plus button. So what is this plus button? So basically there are two kind of files are there. One is old file. When you are creating something you have already created, so that is your old file. And plus is like a new file, like a plain white paper sheet where you want to work with your canvas. Okay, so we have a different options here, like we have scale file, 4K, A4. So different versions are there. You can see these are the presets. You can choose any one. Like for an example, you can use scale file, which is like equal from all sides. So you can use this for Instagram. Okay, you can use A4 sheet for your portfolio pages. Even you can use different version, like you can use paper size. Paper size is good for creating a fashion illustrations. Then there is a plus button, like if you're working for some client is giving you some sizes. It happens a lot of time the client give us a size ki they want image on a 5 by 5 pixels, or they want image on 10 by 10 inches. So we can choose like this. From here we can choose the inches. Okay, and we can set the width ki how many width we want. Like we want 10 inches width, and client is saying height should be 15 inches. So we can choose the height and width here. DPI we don't change, we keep it 100 pixels. Basically we want a good quality, so that's why we are keeping it 100 pixels. Then we have maximum layers. So this you can't change it. Okay, one second. This you can't change it, but it will show you ki how many layers you will get maximum. So if I'm putting the 300 pixels, it varies upon the size to size, but doesn't matter much because we can create a illustration within like 10-15 layers. We can create the things within a 10-15 layers. We can group them, we can merge them. That is an advanced topic, but you can get an idea. Okay, maximum of layers you can keep it this. Then you press on the create button, so your file will be open. So basically from this side, when we were making, so we make it in 15 inches, and this size is 10 inches. So this is how you get an idea ki how much size you want to open. This is done. If I just want to delete it, so select button is there. We can select the layers, and there is an option called delete here. We can delete the layer. So this is the basic use of these four screens, you can say. Okay, let's get started to work with. Let's open a page of, like I told you, the best size for illustration is the paper 11 inches by 8.5 inches. Okay, basically this is like in the landscape. If I want to convert into a portrait, I don't need to go again back. We can do here. Use your finger, rotate your thing, keep it straight, you get the thing. Basically you can keep on rotating to get the proper quality of the thing. Okay, so basically this part is 11 inches and this here is 8.5 inches. So these size is the best size for a fashion illustrations. You can write or you can make some notes while working. So basically this the best size for fashion illustration is 11 inches by 8.5 inches. And one more size which I recommend to work with, like when you are making Instagram post, okay, then you can make 10 inches by 10 inches. So it's a good size if you want making for Instagram something. 10 inches by 10 inches. Okay. So we are done with here. So this was all about the opening of a file and different things. Then we have the buttons here. Okay. Or you can say a basic tools to get started. We don't have a lot of tools. It is a very basic set of tools and very interesting to know and easy to understand tools. Because first thing we have the brushes here. We have a lot of brushes. We will one by one will cover these brushes, why these brushes are there, what is the use of that brushes. Slowly you will get the idea how these brushes work. I will give some glimpse of brushes today, and upcoming lessons are all about the advanced brushes. Okay. The first tool which we are understanding here is a brush tool. Brush tool is similar to like makeup brushes, watercolors, markers. So like these purposes. Okay, so currently I'm using this brush. So simply it work like this. You can just scribble around. You want to write something, you can write something. You want to draw something. So basically you can draw also. So this is how this tool work. You can want to create some paintings, logos. So this is how this tool work. This is the basics of the brush tool. Now, one more thing in the brush tool, like when you are using a brush tool, these two settings always available, whether it is a brush, whether it is a different tools. So normally this thing come up here. What is this? Basically the above option bar. This option bar is for a size and this option bar is for a opacity. So I'm selecting any other brush because in this brush the size is not proper. So basically the currently size is 4%, 5%. So my brush look like this much. If I increase the size from here, my brush look like this. If I increase the size here, so my brush look like this. So you keep on increasing the sizes of your brush, you keep on getting a bigger brushes. So basically this is the difference or use of this brush. The second thing we have is the second option. This is known as opacity. Now what is a opacity? Now if this opacity is 100%, then your brush will look solid. Okay, if you reduce the opacity here, your brush will become transparent. If you reduce more, your brush will become transparent. You reduce more, your brush will become transparent. So basically you keep on reducing the opacity, your brush is becoming lighter and lighter. If I give you an example, what is the difference between these two brushes? So basically when the opacity is higher, means opacity is higher, then your fabric is solid. At that point your fabric is solid. Solid means you can say velvet fabric. Velvet is also solid fabric. You can say cotton fabric. You can say jute fabric. You can say silk fabric. So these are the fabric which is like solid. So we will be using 100% opacity for these fabric. And when we talk about transparency means from here to here it is getting transparent. So when you talk about this fabric, the transparency, the lighter fabric, so this you can use for a net fabric, you can use for organza, you can use for chiffon. So like this way, these fabrics matter. Okay, when we'll go advanced, so you will understand how we will change the fabrics and all. But now you get an idea what is the difference between these opacities here. I'm just okay. So basically, this is a brush, this is a layer box. We'll explain the layer box, but first understand for clearing the layer, I'm just swipe, delete. I'm just deleting the layer so that I get a fresh paper to work and explain the new thing to you. Okay. So brushes, there are a lot of brushes are there. Okay. I will get into the brushes one by one. But first of all, I'm just explaining one by one these brushes. Why these brushes are there, how we can use these brushes. Making a chart so that you guys can understand where I'm using and what is the kind of brushes we have. So basically, I'm just explaining the kinds of brushes or types of brushes you can say. The first brush we have is a sketching brush. Now, what is a sketching brush? Basically, sketching brush is like a pencils. When you use this sketching brush, you will observe the difference that these brushes look like a pencil. Basically, logic is that these are like rough lines. These brushes have a rough line nature. These are quite rough here. And these brushes are used for basic sketching, rough work, outlines, quick quick drawing if you want to draw something quick. So like this way these brushes are used. These are like a sketching brush. We can call these brushes are sketching brush. You can say sketch brush. Okay, after the sketch brush we have, then we have inking brushes. Now what is the inking? First observe the, okay, let me use on the black color only so that you can feel the difference from here. So basically what is these brushes? What does these brushes do? First of all, these brushes are your ink brushes. These brushes are known as inking brushes, or you can say ink brushes. What is the use of this brush? So ink brushes are the brushes which are like fine lines. It provide you fine lines, or you can say detailing, clean lines, markers kind of thing, or you can say permanent marker. So like this way these brushes work. Okay, so how we can use these brushes? So we can use these brushes, inking brushes, for doing an outline of any sketch or making a flat sketches. So these are the purposes of the ink brush, a basic purpose. Then after this ink brush is done, then we have drawing brushes. Drawing brushes as like for a coloring, or you can say for a drawing as well, a basic drawing and all. So I can show you some of these brushes. This is a copper head brush here, and we have few more which are like my favorite here, this black one. So this is like a very soft brush. If you use smoothly it will give you a small color. If you use more it will give you a light darker tone. So like this way it work. Let me use one or two more. Citra. So it is also for like good number of effects we can create. So like this with this brush looks. So what is the purpose of this brush? See, I'm using inking brush to always write because these are very fine lines which give you fine line. So we can use the drawing brush for quick sketch, or filling the color, or you can say adding the effects, textures, the fabrics. So like these purposes we can do with these brush. Okay, so these brushes are drawing brushes. After these drawing brushes, let's move towards the next set of the brush here. Drawing, painting. So painting are also like these are drawing brushes. These have a lot of effects. Like there is a fresco, there is a watercolor, gouache, oil paint. So these are the different kind of brushes. These are also very interesting brushes. You can try these. Then we have artistic brushes. See, artistic brushes, see, it has a lot of effects kind of thing. Let me increase the width. See, can you see that softness, the fabric? So these are mostly used for the textures, the fabric things. Okay, and everyone have a different creativity level. So you can sometimes use for like creating a textures, creating a patterns, prints. So these drawing brushes, painting, artistic brushes. So these are the like similar kind of brushes, but it has a very high usage. Okay, so I'm calling these brushes are your painting brushes and your artistic brushes. When we'll do the illustration, then we will be using these to create some leather effects or velvet effects, so like this way. Okay, then let's move towards the next topic here. Next brushes we have is a calligraphy brushes. One of my favorite brushes, very interesting brushes. So basically calligraphy are brushes are the brushes which help us to give a write or to make a presentation of text and want to just write quickly to give a like calligraphy look, like that kind of looks it works. So basically the first brush which I'm using, this is my favorite, the script brush. See, if I'm using slowly it will give you a very less texture. If I apply a pressure it will give you high. So this work is a pressure sensitive brush. Like if you have used some fountain pens and all, no? So it work like that way. See, if I just create, you can feel the difference here in the calligraphy brush here. See, what is the thing? I'm applying a less pressure. That means it is becoming thinner. If I'm applying high pressure, then it is becoming thicker. So this is your calligraphy brush. The basic logic of the calligraphy brushes is this. And we have a lot of brushes. You can try one of these. Brush pen is also good. Streak brush is also good. So try one of these and you will enjoy a lot while doing this. After that, we have air brushes. This is the last brush for the basics, and then we'll understand brushes later on properly. The airbrush. Airbrush is a soft round brushes we have. So basically it gives you a very soft kind of effect. Let me just show you basics. See, it is like a soft round brushes. These are a lot of blending brushes are also there. So these brushes are basically used for a shading purposes. I'm just writing it here so that you guys can remember. These brushes are basically used for a shading. So this is the use of the airbrush here. Then we have a lot of other brushes, like there is a texture brushes which is used for creating textures, abstracts, charcoal effects is there, elements to add a different elements over the illustrations, spray paint to create a shimmer kind of look. Then we have a lot of materials for the fabric, vintage brushes, and some other extra brushes we have. So these are the brushes set. This is how the brushes work. I've gone into very deep because the brushes topic is very important. You can't really skip the brushes if you want to get advanced with the Procreate. This is done. Let's move forward to the next topic. After the brushes, we have another topic here, which is a smudge tool. Let me show what is a smudge. Okay, so when you're using a brush, if you want to change the color of a brush, so you just click here, the right corner of the right side. See, from here you can change the colors. Like I'm using a green color. Now I want to change the color to the red. I can go here. I can use red. So this is how we can use it. If you want to undo, so just press like this. You can undo like this. Okay. Okay, let's learn one more tool, which is known as smudge tool. What is a smudge tool? See, I have a one color. Now I'm using another color. Okay, so basically we have a two colors. I want to blend these two colors. So then there is a tool called smudge tool. The second tool we have. So if using a smudge tool, we can smudge the colors first of all. See, like this we can create a blending look. This brush is actually used at blends, or you can call it this brush is used for a blending. This tool is to create a very smooth effects. See, let me explain you once again. See, I'm using now similar kind of colors. Now I have like red color. I'm taking a darker tone, darker shade of red only, getting into like maroons, taking a one more darker tone, using the third color. So basically now I have a three colors. I want to blend these three colors. So we are using the smudge tool. Using a smudge tool, we will blend the shades. This is how the smudge tool is used. Got it? How we can blend it? We can blend more. We can make a brush size bigger, and we can blend. We don't need to blend a lot. We have to just smudge the effect. So this is how this tool is used, to just smudge the effect. This was a smudge tool. The third thing we have is an eraser. Eraser tool is to erase the thing. So we can use an eraser here and we can erase the effect like this way. Like a basic eraser, like how we do erasing in a hand illustration. So like that way. But this is very precise. It will help you to erase complete sheet. Okay. So this was an eraser tool, and earlier we did the smudge tool. There is a layer box. We'll understand layer box in very depth. First, understand a very basics of the layer box. So basically, there in the layer box we have plus button first of all. Using a plus button, you can keep on adding a new layers. So basically there is only two layers, plus 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 C. I've added 10 more layers. So we can keep on adding the layers like this way. And if you want to delete the layer, so just you have to swipe, delete, swipe, delete, swipe, delete. So you can just swipe and delete the layers like this way. This is how the layer box works. Okay. Few more things we have with the layer box. Like if you click on here, like which is a blank area, click here. A lot of other options will come up. Okay, the first option is that rename the layer. You can change the name, like layer 2 is written. You click on rename. So basically you will get a keyboard here. And you can, on the keyboard, you can just write the name. Okay, if you click on return, it is done. Click, you have more option like select. Basically it is already selected, we don't need to do. Then there is a copy button, you can copy paste something. Okay, there is a fill color, you can directly fill the color inside the layer. Like if you click it, the color will be filled inside this. Then we have clear, so it will just clear the layer, it will clean the layers. Okay, we have another option that we will be going to understand afterwards when we'll understand the advanced tool. So this is done. This was just about the basics of the layer box. Then the last option is a color box. We have a colors here. Then we have disk selection. We can select the colors from disk as well. We have harmony. So basically it helps us to select the complementary colors like this. Okay, and then we have value. We can, if you are quite professional in the colors, so you can just pick up the color like from RGB side, what color you want, hue, how much hue you want, how much saturation you want in the color, how much brightness you want. Okay, this is for like very technical part, so we are not getting into that. There is a RGB color, so how much red you want, how much green you want in the color, how much blue you want. So like this way you can just get into this is quite professional thing. For now, let's skip it. We can just pick the colors from classic side or a disk side. Then we have palettes. So we have a lot of palettes already there. We'll understand how to build our own palette as well, but you can choose the color from your palettes as well. This was all about these 5 tools. Very interesting tools. These are very simple and easy tools. Just try one or twice each and every tool, you will get the idea. But the brushes thing which I've told you, try each and every brush. Try to feel the difference. What is the difference between these two? Then only you will be able to get into the brushes properly and you will be able to illustrate those comments. Okay. Now let's understand these 4 things. Okay. Currently it is looking very simple here. The 4 things. These are quite complex as well. But let's get started and understand in a simple way how this tool works. So this first thing, it look like a key, like a basic जैसे चाबी होती है ना, ये वैसे ही look कर रहा है. Okay, so let's understand this tool. So basically this is known as actions. Okay, so normally I told my student these are the toolbox. Okay, it look like a tool key ना, so I call it this is our toolbox. So we have a lot of tools here to understand. काफी basic tools है. It is a basic tools just to add the things or adjust the canvas, like where you're working, save the file, or you can say add a video or a preferences. So like these things बहुत बेसिक काम होते हैं, जैसे कोई इमेज को ऐड करना हो, टेक्स्ट को ऐड करना हो, कैनवस में कुछ करना हो, इमेज को कहीं पे शेयर करना हो या वीडियो के फॉर्म में कुछ करना हो. तो all the basic things we have here. The first button we have is an add button. So add is something to add any image or something here. So when you click on add here, so you can have a lot of things. Like there is a thing here, insert a photo. So using this, you can insert any image here. So I want to insert this image. So I'm clicking on the image. My image will come here. So this is how you can insert the image. Then we have these nodes here. So using this, we can manage the layer. And that means we can make it smaller, bigger. So like this way. Want to delete this? I told you, swipe, delete. So this is how we can delete any things we want. In this toolbox, we have other thing, like there is a take a photo. You can pick up the iPad and you can click the image as well. Then we have add text. So using the add text, you can actually add a text inside this. So there is a keyboard here. So you get a keyboard. So mine, it's coming smaller. Maybe in yours, it will come full-fledged. So I'm just writing the name. Hmm. So I have written something here. So this is how we can write the text here. Now if I want to change the color, so from this color box, we can change the color. We can choose our color, so our color will be applied here. This is how we can add any text we want. Swipe, delete if you want to delete anything. Then there is a cut, copy, paste. Let's not get into this because there is nothing. If anything is here, like on the screen, if anything is here, you can just copy it. Okay, and on the new layer, like on the new layer, you can actually paste it. So this is a copy paste in. This we can do throughout the layers. Matlab we can change the page as well and do the copy pasting. This is really nice feature. We'll explore it later on properly. Then we have the canvas setting. So basically we can adjust the canvas. Like cropping means we can crop and resize the canvas. Like we can make it smaller or we can make it bigger. So like this way we can just crop the things. We don't really use this feature because we set the canvas in the first go. We don't change it afterwards. But you can see we can even crop it if you want to do. Then we have animation assist, page assist, drawing assist. These three things are helpful for working, but these are a little bit advanced when we'll move forward. Then we have a reference. Basically reference is to open any image. Like we can keep the image here, like what you want to keep as a reference. Okay, like if I want to keep a reference for my face, so I can click on the face. So currently camera is there, so it is showing the camera. If I'm just adding the image here, so I can keep image as a reference. Okay, or if I want to keep the canvas as a reference, I can keep that as well. Why our canvas is not visible? Okay, it got disturbed, I feel. Let's get started. So basically this was your reference thing, and we have a lot of options more we have. Okay, so these things are done. Then we have share. So basically share is something if you want to save your file. So in the share we have a different option. You can save the file in Procreate. There is no need to do that because it is already saving when you are pressing on gallery button. So basically we have a share button here. Basically share is something if you want to save your file. Like you can save your file in Procreate, which is like a basic Procreate. You can save in a Procreate and you can work in future and do changes. Then we have PSD, so you can save your file in PSD format, PDF, JPG. Like JPG is if you want to save for your Instagram post and all. PNG is something like similar to JPG only, but we have a lot of difference between this. So basically these things you can save for your purposes. Then we have TIFF. TIFF model mostly is used for industrial purposes. So this is how you can save your file. Then the next option we have is a video. In the video, we have a lot of things. The first thing is the time lapse. Like you can keep this time lapse on. So your the entire process will be recorded. So when you click on the time lapse recap, so you can, so basically when you're working here, so we have one more option. This is a share. So basically share button is there to save your file. So basically we can save the files in a different formats. Like you can save in a Procreate. Procreate is something if you want to come in future and do a changes. So you can save in Procreate file. And we have PSD like Photoshop file. We have PDF. PDF is mostly used for like clients and people ask for a PDF files. Then there is a JPG, PNG. This is basically used for uploading over Instagram, or if you want to upload in NFTs, so you can use these. Then there is a TIFF model. TIFF model is mostly used for industrial purposes, not for your regular purposes. So you can click on any of the version. Then we have the option here, how to save the file. So you want to save the file in your computer, so you can click on save. If you want to upload somewhere, you can upload over the Instagram and different platforms. Okay. The next option we have is a video. Basically video have two things. One thing is like replay of a video. So you can turn on the recording if you want to record entire process how you're working. Okay. And if you want to just see the replay, you can see the replay of what you have done, so that you get an idea. But this is basically for recording the entire process of your work. Like if you want to upload over reels, send to the clients, or if you want to see in future how you were working, you want to share with your any friend, you want to share with me, ki sir, I work like this, so is there any improvement I can do? So like this way you can record your time lapse videos and you can share with me, you can share with your platforms online, so people really like and to see these kind of videos we have. And this is very short video, so it is really helpful if you want to upload on. This is a short video, so it's really helpful if you want to upload all the reels. Okay, so export button is there, so you can export your video also to your computers, to your WhatsApp through and all. Okay, then there is a preference button. Preference is basically just your controls, how you want it. So basically there is a light control, so if you want wide screen, there is this right hand, left hand, so if you have a left hand, so you can switch out. So different options we have. Just see once, you will get an idea. These 4 options, do not get into this currently, this we will be getting afterwards. Then we have the second option, that is known as adjustments. Now what is the adjustment? Adjustment is basic, when you see any image you want to adjust that. So how we can do that? So basically that is the option. We'll get into these as an advanced version. Currently we are not getting into this option. Okay, then we have this move tool. Move tool is basically for making the size smaller, bigger, so like this way. Then we have flipping, so you can flip your image, you can flip vertically, you can rotate. So like this way we can do a lot of option with this move tool. So this was all about the basics of, you can say, a tools thing, how the tools work in a Procreate. From the next session, from next module, we'll get advanced into like day by day. So homework for this assignment, this module. So basically homework for this module is that you have to practice all the basic tools, the tools which I've shared, all the tools you have to practice first of all. Then you have to make an assignment. In that assignment, you have to make a basic postcard. Okay, on that postcard, so basically if I can show you what kind of postcard I am looking from your site. So basically I need to see some kind of these kind of postcard where it can be a different option, doesn't matter. I need to see an image, basically a box here, or some kind of text here, some kind of like different kind of things. You can just try the basic tool and create it. Okay, you don't need to get into like professional something. Like if you see this one, this is also like some postcard. I just made this box by using this tool and added an image here. Then you can see some more like this kind of thing. Okay, and some like this. So basically you have to just create a basic outlook and you have to just try with all the tools and see, let's see how you can practice the tools. The homework is to practice the tools, and then you can join the next module and understand the next topic from here.